And there's all kinds of repositioning taking place in our region, in our state. We've got cities going bankrupt. I think 6 cities in California announced their intentions to bankrupt. Like, I don't know about you, but when a city goes bankrupt, you know, you got some issues. When banks close, when bank people didn't see this coming, and then you mad at your husband because he didn't know it was coming. And you got the Lehman Brothers who've been in business for 150 years, didn't see it coming, had to close. And you got the guy that's got his name on his uniform, and he's like, why didn't you know this was coming? You should have helped me prepare for this. And it just hit us. So in these kinds of times, God's there. He's repositioning, and he's bringing cleansing, and he's bringing adjustment and realignment to things that somehow got away from us. And we are not any longer being allowed to preach like peacocks. It doesn't fly anymore when you preach your stuff. Amen? Nobody cares if you flew in on your plane or a plane. We don't care. We don't care how big your doggone house is or what you're driving. We over here trying to make it with these kids and this life. And so you got to quit preaching that. So we're not preaching that stuff anymore. It doesn't do what it used to do. We used to say, I want to get me some of that. And then we're like, whatever, man. I'm just over here trying to make it. And I'm on food stamps now. And we got guys that were making 6 figures, driving pizza delivery cars. So it's been a readjustment. Okay, so what used to be isn't necessarily the way it is now. So there are new pressures, and then when pressure comes, when change comes, it flushes up stuff you didn't know existed. So now there's this fountain of new information, and most of it isn't good. And information is the reality of your relationships, and the reality of who you are, and the reality of who your husband is, and the reality of who America is, and what the church is, and what people are. And all of a sudden we are presented without solicitation stuff we're having to deal with that we had absolutely no warning or no preparatory indicators on how to deal with it. So now you got a husband who is under pressure that he's never been under, because there's layoffs at work, and he's under this pressure, and now you're under the pressure of his pressure. And now y'all haven't learned how to navigate through pressure, because when you all were building your lives together, it was in this flow that no longer exists, and now you're scraping and faithing and modifying and conserving and saying no to what you used to say yes. Is this making sense to anybody?
Right, come on.
Okay, so what happens in a man in these times is his sensitivity heightens. And the way you used to talk to him for 20 years of your relationship now lands on him different.
That's right, come on.
And he doesn't have enough femininity in him to say, baby girl, my sensitivity's heightened. Right? He'd just be like, leave me alone. Into the cave I go. I'm not talking to you for 3 days. I'm going to grunt every once in a while just to let you know I'm alive. Come on. Sleeps on the couch. Moved out of the bedroom, whatever. So you've got these dynamics going on, and what men need. Danielle told me to tell you this, because this was not on my agenda. But what men need from their women is for you to put the gavel down and pick up the pom-poms.
Right.
And you can throw a teddy on if you want to. But listen to me. This judgment thing ain't gonna work. We do not need your advice right now. I'm a helpmate. I can't help but to help. God made me to help. I'm going to give you help whether you want help or not. Let me just tell you what a man needs. He needs you to get your pom-poms out and say, that's my man.
That's right.
If he can't do it, nobody can. That's my man. He doesn't need you to say blah, 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 and point out everything that he is fully aware of. The men that are trying to be protectors and providers now, that hung in there with you, that didn't bolt when the pressure hit, that stayed in his place. There's a lot of men that lost their minds. There's a lot of men that killed themselves. There were forefathers in the big expensive Christian school right outside the gates of this elaborate neighborhood. It's called Saint something, big old happening school that all the rich people's kids go to. And when the economy crashed, 4 fathers in 1 week killed themselves. Because of the place they held their money. So they decided, I am my money's gone, I'm gone. The fact that your man stayed with you and is fighting through this, he does not need your interpretation of the situation. He needs your support. He needs you to be his cheerleader. Just write in your diary everything that you want to point out and bring it up later. Like when we get to heaven or something like that. Okay, because let me tell you something. If you empower your man this way, he will have the power to give you what you need and what you want. So what you're actually doing by pointing out deficiencies, and you see how it lands on him. It lands on him negative. He don't want to talk about it. I don't care how you package it. He don't want to talk about it. Because, like Danielle said, men believe the more they think about something, the better it gets. Women believe the more they talk about something, the better it gets. You need to let your man think his way out of this. And he's doing everything that he's doing for you and the kids, not for himself. Because we can go live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Hey, just give me some pizza and beer and ESPN. I'm cool. I don't need to do all this stuff. Are you feeling me? Yeah. So, it's vital in this season. I don't know when the season's going to end. But y'all better position your mouth. You better position it. Well, I have a right to say, yeah, you do, and you have a right to be alone, too. I'm being gentle. Because this is what will be happening. He'll stay, but you'll be alone. He will stay, but y'all by yourself and your opinion. So you hear me on this. Your man loves you, but he's super sensitive right now. And not that you would have any kind of revelation or understanding of sensitivity. Now, do whatever you want, but I'm right. Do whatever you want, but I'm right. How do I know? Because it happened to me. It happened to us. Danielle been talking to me a certain way for 30 years. And the bottom of our life fell out. And she just kept talking to me the way she always talked to me, and I just kept putting distance between us. Because it all of a sudden became unsafe. What's the goal of your marriage? Don't answer because you don't know the answer. What's the goal of your marriage? The goal of your marriage is to have a spiritual, intimate connection. There is this thing that humans do, it's called connecting. And there's this thing that humans do, it's called disconnecting. Right? As you well know, there are fruits and repercussions and benefits or attributes of people who are connected. When you're connected, there's a connection, and when you have a connection, there's this thing that you have that humans experience, right? We're just connected. I love them so much. We're just connected. When you're connected. But when you're disconnected, you're still married, but now you're disconnected. How's that working for you? And then when you're disconnected, there's all kinds of fruits and ramifications and produce from a disconnect. And you think you'd say it louder, he's going to hear it better. You think if you punish him by withholding, that's going to get his attention. The things that men used to care about, we don't care about anymore. We care about making it for our families. And we do not need to disconnect from our number one supporter. But that really is going to require you to reposition your mouth concerning your man. Danielle and I fought the worst we've ever fought when I did not know what to do because I was losing my stuff. And our church was going through an incredibly difficult time. And I don't know what it is about men, that their identity is attached to their stuff. You don't get it, but it is that way. Is it godly? Is it redeemed? No. It just is a natural thing that we have got to process out of that. I wish there was just a little vitamin we could take, you know, a Jesus victory vitamin, Jesus juice, and we're all ready and we're all connected. But there's this natural thing in a man that he is his acquisitions. And you start losing your acquisitions and you feel like you lose your masculinity. You lose your value as a man. And then when our wives, who are the greatest validation of our masculinity, start pointing out the losses, now we feel like we're losing our validation and we're going to have a reaction to that. And so that's what happened to us. And luckily, Danielle is wise enough to assess the situation. I'm in touch with my feelings enough after a while that I was able to explain. But for a long time, I bet a year, there was a disconnect. And Danielle, I say, how you doing? She said, I'm sad. Well, why are you sad? Because I don't know where Steve and Danielle are anymore. Where's Steve and Danielle? Where's that couple that's the joy givers, the light shiners? Where are those people? I was just on the couch with my two friends, Ben and Jerry. Amen? So listen, pom-poms,